Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Project Likkutei Torah. We're holding the Maimer Seitzei, the last parsha of the Haftarah. In Parshas Seitzei says the Novi, heharim yomushu. The mountains will move. Voice tmutena. Voices, smaller mountains will also move. What will never move? What will never change? The chazdi meitich leyomus. The chesed of the Rebbeinu. The Klal Yisrael will never cease. O bris shleimi leisomot. And the bris of peace will never be shaken. Omar merachem ech Hashem. Says God, the one who has mercy on you. Explains the Alter Rebbe, what does it mean mountains will move? We know that mountains move. There's earthquake, mountains could move. Says the Alter Rebbe, the deeper pshat, mountains are Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Like it says, the pasuk in Micha, Shimu harim esriv Hashem, v'voyisoni meis deyoretz. Why is Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov called a mountain? Just like a mountain goes out from the globe, which is flat. It goes high till the sky, like it says by Noach. The same as Avram, Yitzchak, they're mountains for Knesset Yisrael. Knesset Yisrael is Oretz Adim Ragla. And they elevate a Yid. To go higher, like it says, Yale behar Hashem. Elevated it says in the Gemara, in Keidin Oves, Elul Ishleisha, which they have Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they elevate a Yid to be Michlal and the Rebbeinu. Says Apostle in Shir Hashirim, we know Smei leitachas l'reishi v'yemini techapkeni. There's smell, which is fire, elevates the rosh of Knesset Yisrael, and then there's the yamin, which hugs the yid from the back, picks up even his back. Say Chazal, the Gemara, famous Gemara in Brochus. Asher Yoshev Yisachos on the Aleph base. Why isn't there Nun? Why didn't David HaMelech write a Nun? Because the Nun is Nefel, falling. And that's why he didn't say Nun, because it's Nefila. Says the Gemara in Broches, even though David HaMelech didn't use a Nun by Ashrei, he picked up the Nun. In the Ruach HaKodesh, in the next pasuk, after Nun Samach, and he wrote, Seimech Hashem l'chol hanoiflim. Because it says by Esther HaMalko that she fell for Achashverosh. Atipe lifnei raglo. When there's no Beis Hamikdash, Klal Yisrael is in the Nefila. We have to understand how is this Nefila by Knesset Yisrael. The Alter Rebbe says, "Ein day boyer." It's we don't have to explain. By Yid here, Lamato and Nefesh Habamis says, Matan Tere, it says, Ponim, Dibra Hashem, Hashem spoke to your Pnimius. This was also the same thing as long as the Beis Hamikdash was standing. Ponim Shel HaNefesh is the face. The face has all the wonderful chushim, like seeing and hearing and speaking. But in the back of the face, you just see hair. You don't see life. Same thing, what a person really wants, and that's his true chayfetz, and his true rotz, and his true desire, that's ponim. But what he doesn't really want, and he does it because he has to, that's the back. And you have little chayes and excitement. It says, when there's a Beis HaMikdash, when Nimshach, Avedis Hashem, to love him, that was the chayfetz and rotz and amiti. And everything else in this world, even though they had eating and drinking and commerce and business, but it was outside the hechich v'derech adai. Here we go over to the second column of 40. Obikvirus, they did it, but that wasn't their life. Unfortunately, now by the bed, there's no Beis HaMikdash. It's just the opposite. Because the person goes after tzorchei haguf, and even when he does good, has yiras shamayim and avas Hashem, and he works very hard to think about the greatness of the Rebbe. It's not his ponim. He works hard. He makes an avat Hashem. This is called ponu elai eirif. No v'yirmi elements. That the Jews come to me, they're ponu elai. They come to me, but eirif. She says the Alter Rebbe, even when they come to my pnimis, it's eirif, it's their back. There's little life there, because the life force, the excitement, is about Elam Haz. This level is called Nefila from Mosa Nefesh, that she's a burning fire to shall have a Selim Eilihu, to be Nizdabik in the Rebbe. But she fell, no fell. What we said before in the Maimah, she falls and says Ramadregas under Gufen of Shabbaimis, and she's in jail by them, and they don't allow the Primis and Nefesh to shine, and only a minute fire comes out. Says the Alter Rebbe, this level, there's two levels. There's Neuflim and Kefufim. Kefufim, Kefufim is someone who bends down, but he's still standing. Even though his head is totally bent down after physicalities, but his feet are still standing, his maisi does what's right, and he's very careful to do all the mitzvahs, even mitzvahs that people are not careful with, like saying a lie, like being haughty, and doing all the mitzvahs with all the minute details. But when this level of action is also not whole, even the slightest mitzvah mid'rabonon, then he changes from kfufim to neiflim. He fell off his feet. Says the Ashrei further, all eyes hope to you, God. We hope that our face will shine again. How do we do it? Through Torah mitzvahs. Sharona mitzvah, so the Eibishter made us holy. Because the Eibishter, like it says in Pasuk Eliyahu, Anovi says about the Sfiras, talking about the essence of the Eibishter. Lavda Isloch Tzedek Yidir, you're not connected with the Sfiras, you're much higher. And Lav Nikol Midis Ilin Klal, Elola Achzoi Chisnai Golma. It should be seen like you're connected with the Sfiras to rule the worlds. This is something la'achzo that we should see, and we just see the limitation of the Sfiras, but the Eibush himself, his essence, is much, much greater. It said about the Eibush, Even Chochma is like Asiyah Gashmis. Like it says, there's no Erech to the Rebbe. He's much higher than Chochma. And what he gives life to the world, and his kula Chochma Sisa, is only from Melech, from the lowest Darge. But the Eibishter himself is separated. He's Kodesh, not like the Neshama that gives life to the Guf. And even though that before it comes down to the Guf, it's very high, but when it comes, it's affected. When the body is anxious, when the body is tired, the Neshama is affected. Because he's connected. Oh, the Eibishter, which is higher than the Sfiris, it says, nothing is teifus smoking by him. And it seems that there is a separate world, la'achzor. And when you talk about the etzem of the Eibishter, David HaMelech says in Hallel, Hamashpili lireis b'shamayim u'moretz. There's a fascinating argument in Hallel. The Goyish philosophers say, Rom Hashem al kol goyim al shamayim k'veidah. You can't say Hashem is involved in minute details of the world. Comes David HaMelech and an answer back to these philosophers, and he says, Hamashpili lireis b'shamayim u'moretz. You're talking about the essence of Hashem. For him, it's the same hashpola, the same going down. For him to go down at Tzil's like to go down in our world. But he makes it simtsum. But he's not more in heaven than in earth. When you're talking about the etzem, the Eibush, the Shomayim, V'oretz, Shovin, Lefonim, they're the same. There's no Milo Mato, but he comes down. Kedei, there should be Shomayim. What Shomayim is Yamachochman for the Eibush to come down even to Chochma Datzilus is a big Yerida. How does he come down to Shomayim? How does he come down to our word Shomayim, which is Teda Biksav, and Eretz is Teda Shabbat, and Teda Mitzvahs? He makes that Hashem should come down from his etzem down into Swedish to be lachzor, to be seen. Like it says about Teda Mitzvahs in Vayikra, Asher Yaseh Shom Hodom, a person should do the Teda Mitzvahs. Peirush says the Alter Rebbe, what does it mean a person should make Odom? He creates the mitzvahs. He brings life into the mitzvahs from the essence of the Eibush. It's much higher than worlds. And that's pshat when it says about Klal Yisrael, Eisin, it's saying Nishom Mokim, the Mamshet, the Rotzen, the Eibush, the higher than Mokim, in Mokim, Rotzen El Shekam in Mokim. Erech Klal, when you bring down godliness to the world, there's three madreges. Torah, davening, and gemilas chasodim. That's Likkutei Avraham, Likkutei Tzvi, Likkutei Yaakov. Likkutei means tzimtzum. The Eibishter comes through the level of Avraham, which is gemilas chasodim, to Yitzchak, which is avodah davening, and Yaakov, which is Torah. So this is how you bring down godliness to have a kesher with the Eibishter. This is what it says. It should say, in proper grammar, it should say, why does it say be'itoy? Be'itoy shelamaycha. He says, what does it mean? In the time. Yidden are called Rayosi Parnasosi, like Chazal say. Yidden give Parnasa to the Rebishter, because Torah mitzvahs are called bread. Just like because when a Yid does Torah mitzvahs, which is Rotzenel, is Meir the Rebishter's Rotzen, Beis Rotzen, and Sichov and Nesel, is Ochlom, Be'itei in the time of the bread, meaning when a Yid does Torah mitzvahs, that's Be'itei, that brings down food. Then he says, Vaitin Ashrei. Say Yaches Yodecha. Yodecha is also known, it says in the Kabbalah, Yudecha, your Yuds. There's 3 Yuds. From there comes down 3 Vovim, which is the 3 Kodesh with a Vov. It has to be first at Tzimtzum, which is Yud, because it's Ein Arech to its Shodesh. Because it could only come down Lamata throughout Tzimtzum, so that's why there's a Yud. Yudecha. And he must be Alachol Chai Rotzen to every level of Chai. Because Chai is called Ashpa from one level to the other. And this level is connected from the level of Tzadik Hashem B'chol Derochav. The Eibishter makes that one lower level could get Chayis from the higher level. That's why a Tzadik is called Ish Chai. It says in Tanakh Uvnoyo Ben Yeyoda Ben Ish Chai. Why is he a Ben Ish Chai? Because his Mamshech Chayis from the higher spheres in this world. And there's many levels and they're all called Chai. And through opening the Yud in this, it comes down in all levels, from Me'olam ve'ad Olam in all levels. This is what it says, weiter in Hashem. Tzadik Hashem b'chol derov. Tzadik is his kashrus. Like the Gemara, it says, O modechot b'olam, that connects the higher worlds to the lower worlds. But Tzadik Shmei, he brings down the Rotzen Hashem in Asiyah. Say afterwards, a pasuk in Ashik Koriv Hashem Choshiku ve'emes. We have a desire to Hashem to cleave them through Torah mitzvahs, and then it becomes it's saying Yirei of Yasa that Eibishter makes by Yirei of they should not be neuflim or kfufim. Their primis alev should shine to be with a tremendous desire to the Eibishter. And this is what it says Asher Kiddushana b'mitzvah, so that through the mitzvahs. There's shadishes in Ratzon Elyon. Kiddushana, we connect with Ratzon Elyon to have a desire, tremendous desire to Hashem. This is what the Gemara says. Mitzvah is tzrichas kavone. The mitzvah is lemato kemei lemaila, just like lemaila. It's a gilui of Hashem lemato, so we have to have our gilui. To have the Pnimis Ratzon Hashem, to have Kavona, that we're so lucky to do Hashem's will. And this makes it saying Yirei of Yaseh. And it says, Shavosam Yishma v'Yishiem. It says, Vayinatleim, Vayinaseim, he elevates them. So we have the Maimah so far, the idea of Har, the idea of the Ovis picking us up, and we could fall, and Torah mitzvahs helps us connect to higher. Says the Alter Rebbe further, famous Gemara, that in order Mashiach should come, he didn't have to do tshuva, and if not, they're not redeemed. Says the Alter Rebbe Peirosh, not if they're sinners, they won't be redeemed. The imlav means even if they don't sin, if they don't do tshuva, Mashiach doesn't come. Why? So even though you do mitzvahs, you bring the Tzei Nishal Mokim to right, left, and center. Ki Avram Lekei Yitzchak. Like he says in the previous Maim, in the previous Ois in the Maim. We're separate, not like when there was a Beis Hamikdash, these 3 levels are all connected. Like an Agudah. But we know that Yidden are connected also in these 3 levels from Chesed, Gvur, and Tiferes. Kiyanim is Chesed, Levim is Gvur, Yisraelim is Tiferes, and we were all connected and one by Korbonis, like we say in davening before Ezeo Mekema. Kiyanim ba'avidosam ulvim b'duchonom Yisrael b'ma'amodom. One unit, but when there's no Beis Hamikdash, Kids of Avraham are in Golus said them. The kids are Yishmael is in Golus Yishmael. Mifuzar and Mefeder when he tshuva to become one. That we were totally one and there wasn't a separateness. Golus makes separate. Says it's something fascinating. It's brought down in the Gemara in Bavli. There's a machlekes. Someone says Thomas who's oves. There's no more the schus of Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov. Avacha says La'elam schus oves kayeme. Opinion that holds Thomas schus oves. There's no Gelech Beis Hamikdash. Because building all these things, Abein Shamayim Aliyesov, is only through Aguda. But there's no Beis Hamikdash. It says Kutsho Brichu Solik Liyelo Obi Pisheichem Shulchoimchem. Even though we bring down Ratzon Elyon, but to be a Aguda, we need to have a strong tshuva. Mima Makim Kirosicha. And the tshuva, the heharim, shall be למעלה, shall be azor as ponim beponim. So that's the opinion of Thomas Husovesh, because there is no unity, it's separate. Those Zokim by Krishma say Samitzalas is Boretz, and we know the Kasha brought previously in my modern verse Chana. Krishma is on the body wherever it is, not only in Eretz Yisrael. Nevertheless, a Mikra Yetze B'dei Pshutei. Mitzvahs in Eretz Yisrael, when there was a Beis HaMikdash, was much higher than our mitzvahs now. Because there's many levels. Mitzvahs are called Levushim and Peidos, like the Gemara says in Seitzei, my Peidah mitzvahs. Because there's two levels of mitzvahs. There's Ir Makif, and then there's Ir Pnimi, which is a fruit. Like it says in Shir Hashirim Bitzi, Lo Yichimadeti V'yoshafti. Upirim Osuk. You could say, Pshat, why do mitzvahs have these two connotations of Levushim and Peidos? Because the Ir Makif, the Levush, is also now in Golos and Seviv Kolal Mirot Snalyin Mamos. It means there's a difference. The Pedi, they had it in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, or not now. From this, we understand that you didn't have to do tshuva. They have to have a tremendous desire to be connected with this high level, and that's what brings Mashiach. Dog der Alte Rebbe weiter. Tshuva, it says, where about Tshuva is a tzaddik can't stand. Those pshat heharim yamushu. The heharim move away. But Rachem in Gedalim says Nafter today. The Rebbe will take us back. Berachem in Gedalim. Yaakov is midas harachmones. Comes from Yitzchak. First, he has the midas hadin. He has something terrible, Rachmanos, happening to him, and then he has Rachmanes. Rachmanes comes after Gvudes. When there's chesed, there's no Rachmanes. But the Eibishter is higher than Elomis, so there's Rachmanes on everybody, because nothing has no significance compared to the Eibishter. All far from Hashem, all of us equal. Like we'd say in Barasham, Baruch Menachem Ala Briyes. Because on us creatures, there's Rachmanes. And Shuvah comes to Rachmanes. Yoshev El Hashem, the Pasuk says. V'rachameyu. There's a big Rachmanes on the Neshama and Nitzotelikus. In his nefesh, through this feeling, he's made Rachmim Gedele. That's why the Baal Tshuva is higher than Tzaddikim, because they have this V'rachameyu. Because Tzaddikim are mamshich say the ishtalshalus. But Shuvah is Yofeh Shachas in one moment. He screams to Hashem, he becomes much higher because he's connected. Merachmim Gedalim HaKaptzich to a much higher level. That's much higher than Seder Ishtalshalos. Where Milo Mato is Shavim. After this, we understand why we all need tshuva, even someone who never did Averis, because the Lepeil's neshama went down mato mato from the light of Leis Machshavet Tfisabei, and everyone, whatever you understand, is Gashmis Lagabi the Etzma the Rebishter. And this tshuva depends, and it depends Mashiach. The mountains will move. What's the mountains will move? It says in Shirashirim Mashiach will come. Kale Deidi, we hear Deidi dancing on the mountains, dancing on the voice. Kale Deidi goes down from level to level till Horim voice. The higher. From Horim, lower from Horim. But when Mashiach comes, there'll be Rachmim Rabbim, and the Horim will move. But the Chazdim B'Rishleimi higher from Seder Ishtalshalos, that will shine. Mashiach will come, and it'll be the highest level. Will be Lema'ala, not Kol Chai from Seder Ishtalshalos, Me'elam ve'Adelam, but much, much higher from the level where Milo and Matar are the same. Rachmim Gedalim higher than Seder Ishtalshalos. That's why it says, no flaw, Leisei Shivkum Psulas Yisrael. It'll be Elikus in a great way. Take a little break here. We'll go back to this footnote, 431. Says the Tzemach Tzedek, the beginning of the previous, explains the machlekes of Thomas Chusoves. So one Peter's, you could say Thomas Chusoves means that it'll be much higher than Chusoves. It'll be V'chazdi, Lo Yomot. And the Maskon is Leitamo. Leitamo means it's still there, because the Chesed, the infinite Chesed, comes through Chesed Avro. There's another Pshat heharim Yomusha, like the Gemara says, the Yerushalmi, that all the Nevi'im will be bottled. We're not going to throw out Yeshua Shiftim, the Nevi'im. It means they'll be bottled Kener Be'avuk, Olegabe the Gil Osi. Those Pshat heharim Yomusha. Because Lagabi the Gilui v'chazdi mitich leyomosh is Avram Mitzvah Yankev will be kener b'fnei avuka. But the maskoni is leitamo. It's there, but it's bottled compared to the Gilui v'lospo. He says that's why we say asid in tzadikim shegem lifneim kodesh. Because there'll be a Gilui v'mayla mata Gilui likus. Because Omer Merachamei Hashem, it comes from the Rachamim Gedalim, where Milo Mato is Shavim. It says further, Biur and Chorim, Biur and the Smaimer, Biur and the Pshat Balitchuve Moshkala B'chelo Yot. As we know, there's 248 mitzvahs, which are the 248 limbs of the Rebbe, which is Zod Atzilus. And from Zod, there's Eris and Kalim. Tzadikim, the do mitzvahs, bring the Eris and Kalim. And there's 3 levels. There's Chacham, Chochma Chesed Netzach on the right, Bina Gvura Heid at the left, Das, the Feres Yisoid in the middle. And it's Terek Yoimes Chesodim. And this is Peseches Yodecho Masbir L'chol Chai. Chai is Yisod. From Zoh comes in Malchut, it's Moken Shomas Yisrael, and Kol Chai is this Tezvov Yisedes in Atzilus, like it says, the Arizal, and it comes Begilun. That's the normal way of build-up. Oh, there's about Tshuva. He's me'ered achim gedelit. Gimel midas harachmim, which are known in Zayar as Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikne Varichampin. It is higher the king. Over there, Milo Mata is the same. And from this very high level, about Tshuva brings. Zok min heharim yomusha harim is chesed, Buddha, Tiferes, Datzilis, yomusha. Agvois is netzachei diseit mutena. The chazdi, which is chesed, the atik, will not cease. And Brishloimi is Yisoid of atik that connects Eid Ein Sof to Net Solim Leisomot, it will come down. And Lemailo Lemato will be Shovim. This is the greatness of the Nevuah of La'osid, connected with Shuvah and connected with L'chazdi Me'itech Le'yomush, the infinite light that will come through our avodah of Shuvah, of wanting something higher, wanting something greater, and being connected with the essence of Hashem. Our desire for Mashiach brings it down. Ruach, Aisi, Ruach. May it be soon in our days we feel this immense love of Hashem and the immense kesher with Hashem, and everything up till now will fade. It says that the Teda of Mashiach, our Teda, will be hevel, will fade compared to the Teda of Mashiach, because it's something from a much higher level. Yes, everybody have a wonderful night.